up, it's BT here, and I got 5 aiming tips for you guys today. Now, I'm not a Yugi aimer by any means, but I do think that I'm average to maybe above average. I'm gonna send it 2 right now in Valorant, so I think I can kind of speak on some stuff that I've learned. On the flip side of that, I also know what it's like to suck, right? You're stuck at that rank, you can't rank up, there's just something wrong, you can't put your finger on it. Well, I'm here today to help you guys. Now, we're gonna go through the aim trainers, but that's not all I want to do. I also want to give you guys some practical tips that you can implement in your gameplay today. So if that's something that you're interested in, stick around for this video. All right, so starting off with number 1, we're going to start with a sensitivity. Find a sensitivity that works for you. Now, we've all been there when we just copy our favorite pro settings, and you know what, for a little bit we might be popping off, but then sooner or later we revert and we start missing all of our shots. Why is that? I think what people are missing is that you need to copy the sensitivity, but also adjust it. We can't just go 1 for 1. You're not just gonna copy 10s of sense and be 10s. You have to adjust, see how he's playing. Is that even similar to what your gameplay style is? Maybe you're on the slower ADS type of movement like Yay. Generally, most players like to stick in the mid-range, allowing for stability and long-range fights, but enough to be able to track in a close engagement. If you're losing a certain type of engagement, maybe a long-range fight or a close-range fight, maybe you need to up your sensitivity to allow you to win those gunfights. One way to check this in any game is go into the range, put your crosshair on a bot's head, and then move around, ADS, strafe. And if you find that it's too jittery and you can't keep your crosshair on the bot's head, then it's probably too high. Now, if on the flip side you can't place it on the actual bot and it's just staying over to one side or the other and you're just moving your mouse frantically and you can't hit it, then most likely your sensitivity is too low for you. You want that nice smooth action when you are strafing on a bot's head, and that should give you an indication of where your favorite sensitivity is. Just go gradually in one direction. If you're too jittery, slowly start to move it down till you get to a point where it feels smoother and comfortable. All right, so number 2, warm up. All right, now this is one thing that people have got to do, and I've been guilty of it too. One day I'm popping off, the next day I hop in the game. I don't warm up in Kovacs, I don't warm up in the range. I just go straight at it and I suck. I'm costing my team. I'm throwing, I'm inting. It's not fun, ruins your night. You turn off the game and you're ready to go to bed. That's it, I'm done. What people fail to realize is that every day is different. You know, some days you are more fatigued, some days you get a lot of sleep, some days you just worked out, some days you just had caffeine. Your body isn't the same from day to day. You feel it, right? Some days you're happy, some days you're sad, sometimes you're in the middle. It's just, we're complex people. So every day you need to be adjusting to that. Adjust to your body. Don't just hop in the game. See how your body is reacting. Your body and mind have to adjust to however you're feeling that day. And if you hop in the game with yesterday's body and mechanics, you're gonna lose. Think about it. Steph Curry, one of the best shooters in the NBA, still practices every single day. Every day before the games, he's practicing, he's shooting, he's warming up. That's the way that we have to be too. Now, we can't be Steph Curry on the basketball court, but we can be Steph Curry in our games. You can do this a bunch of different ways. You can go into the range, just shoot a bunch of bots. You can do the strafing technique that I said earlier when you're trying to find your sense. You can also hop into something like Kovacs or aim labs. Now, there's a variety of different training tasks you can do. I personally like to work on precision, speed, and tracking. For precision, I like to do 6-shot with the smaller balls or boxes. This will help you with your micro flicking. Focus on slowing down and hitting your shots accurately. Aim for about 100% accuracy. You want to train yourself to click only when the time is right. If you practice missing, you're probably going to be missing in your game. Now, I like to go through this about 3 to 5 times. Nothing major. Keep it light. If you aren't hitting it, just keep going. Just keep going until you start getting up to that 100% accuracy or close to it. Another one that I like for precision and reactive micro flicking is the 1-wall 5-target pasu. I find this one really imitates people moving around and trying to predict where their head is going to be. If I could do one task, this would probably be it. Then I'll move on to my speed tasks. This is something where like grid shot or tile frenzy really comes in handy because they're less about precision and more about the speed at which you can move to each box, trying to get the highest score possible. Since we've already worked on precision, I mainly try to just focus on speed here, trying to just go like a mad rabbit all over and hit all the boxes. I'm gonna miss sometimes, but this one is just more about warming up that arm or warming up that shoulder before you hop into the game. Now for tracking, there's a bunch of different ones. I like to do the long IC strafe. I try to match the movement with the bot on this one with my ADS strafe. And now, as we all know, aiming is not just with your mouse, right? You also have to strafe. Sometimes those people with smooth aim and the tracking aim, they aren't really moving their mouse all crazy. They're pretty much just ADSing and matching the movement of their opponent. And that's what you want to do here in the IC long strafe. Also, I'll take out the movement and just try to track with my mouse just to get used to how my mouse pad and mouse are reacting. Another good one for tracking is Ascendant V3 or the tiny thin strafing ones. Those all will work very nicely. All right, so another topic I want to talk about is control. Do you have control over your peripherals, over your mouse, over your mouse pad? Is your aiming sloppy? Right? If it's sloppy, you might need a control pad. If you aren't able to feel your mouse, if it's too light, that could be a thing. If it's too heavy and you're getting fatigued, it might be time to go down. Really think about your gear and what you're using. Does it fit your aiming style? Don't just use, you know, the latest pad because I said so or any other reviewer said so. Use the one that works for you. That's why we have so many options for you guys to choose from, so you can get your own personalized style. Not everybody's gonna use a Starlight 12 and an Artisan pad. Maybe they wanna use a Zowie ZA13 and a GSR from Zowie. It just, whatever your personal preference is, find what works best for you. Let's say you've always been a wrist aimer, you know, you've just been using your wrist, but your shot, you know, you've gotten up to, let's say like a diamond or something, and you just feel stagnant. Your shot feels a little bit jittery, you can't hit them. Maybe it's time to start looking into arm aiming. Maybe when you decide to do wrist aiming, that wasn't the optimal thing for your body type. You really have to play around with these things, and vice versa. Maybe you've always done arm aiming, but maybe wrist aiming could be better for you. Who knows? You gotta check it out. You gotta play around with these things. The fourth thing on the list is one of my favorite principles and one thing that I preach a lot, and that is to focus on improving one thing in your gameplay per day. Some people try to work on their movement, some people try to work on their flicking and their tracking and their game sense all in one day, and it just goes to shit. Nothing gets better, and it's no wonder why you're not improving. What you have to do, especially like within life, you know, when you try to multitask, you do a bunch of things okay, but when you focus on one thing, when you put all your mind into one thing, you're gonna get exponentially better. And that's what happens in aiming as well. So for instance, Monday I can work on my flicking. I'll grab like a wingman in Apex, or I'll grab a sheriff or a guardian in Valorant, a one-tap potential gun, and just go at it. Just use that gun over and over and over again. Beat it like a dead horse. By the end, I better be a G at using a sheriff or a wingman. On Tuesday, I'll do tracking or I'll do spray control. There, I will, you know, just go all out on practicing and trying to get those down. And then Wednesday, I'll work on my game sense, maybe holding angles, maybe thinking about where people are going, maybe abilities, you know, something like that. Thursday, I'll work on my movement, my strafing, trying to outstrafe and outmaneuver people and climbing on stuff like an Apex. And then on Friday, you put it all together, you're gonna be way better than if you just go through the motions of your gameplay. Go into the week or go into the game with a goal, and I guarantee you, you will get better. But guys, I just wanna say, do not forget about me. All right, shout me out when you're shitting on Simple in a CSGO major final. All right, don't forget about your boy BT. And last but not least, coming in number 5, you want to be checking out your own gameplay, watching it back, recording yourself with like Streamlabs or OBS, and constantly question yourself when you're in game too. Why did I die there? What can I do better? How can I be a better player? How can I be a better teammate? Was my aim off? How was my aim off? Was it low? Was it too high? Was my crosshair not in the right space? Was I over tracking? Did I over flick? Think about these things. Don't just go through the motions, and you will get better. It could be something with your gear. I started using an arm sleeve because I found that my arm would be grabbing on the pad. So what do? I grab one of these and now it's much smoother. My movement is much better. Or in game, I was holding corners too closely, so now I hold them a little bit further out to try to compensate for people's movement. But I wouldn't know this if I didn't watch my gameplay back. And one thing that I noticed just recently, just last night, is that I was pressing so hard on my mouse that it was tilting up, causing my mouse to stop tracking. And sometimes my shot would be off when I was trying to do spray control. I noticed I would tense up and I would just freak out and press way too hard. So now I'm mentally focused on pressing lightly, trying to keep the mouse level. And see, I wouldn't know that if I wasn't thinking consciously. I wouldn't be able to get better and I will still have these same issues. Now I can't say what your specific problem is, but you can drop me some gameplay or you can ask me down in the comments below and I can try to help you out, or some people in this amazing community might have some answers for you as well. But just paying attention to detail can really make huge improvements and exponential improvements in your gameplay. All right, so this is just scratching the surface on aiming in general and improving, but I hope I set you in the right direction with some practical tips today that can help you on your journey to becoming the rank that you want to become or the player that you want to become, whether that's to impress your friends, impress that e-girl, or everything else in between. Anyways, guys, it has been your boy BT. That's gonna do it for this video. I love y'all. If you found this video helpful, hit that subscribe button. I'll also drop some other relevant content here that we talked about throughout the video. It has been your boy BT saying peace.